Hi everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I post every day of the week for a while. And today in this video, I'm going to go through all the good supplies you could use for knitting. Now this is just the supplies I use for knitting. I do use a lot of these quite a lot, but sometimes I'll just use them when I really need them, like if I need a certain needle size and stuff. So I'm going to get started, and if you guys don't have any supplies, don't worry. Most of the stuff is pretty cheap, so I'm going to show you guys some good supplies you could use. So the first thing you need is knitting needles. These are size 8. Sorry, you can't really see that because my camera's blurry. Let me see if I can. There, can you see that? Yeah, these are size 8 knitting needles. These are from Hobby Lobby, and they're a little worn out because it's cheap metal, which that is totally fine because I love these knitting needles and stuff. They don't have a brand on them and stuff. They're just the Hobby Lobby brand. They kind of remind me of the Boye needles, which are my favorite types of needles. Next, you would need a pair of scissors. These are my Hello Kitty scissors. I know they don't have actually Hello Kitty on them, but these are my Hello Kitty scissors. I have them since the 3rd grade. These are my best. These are my favorite scissors to use for knitting because they cut my yarn very, very well. And they're great. I've been using these since I first started knitting and crocheting. I've had these since I was in 3rd grade. Again, I got them from a school supplies kit that I got from the Hello Kitty store, and it had Hello Kitty on it. It used to come with like a scissor cover, slip color, but I have no idea what happened to it. I lost it years ago after I think I got rid of that school supplies, but I love these scissors. They're great. They're my favorite color, pink, and I've been using them since I started knitting and crocheting. Another good thing you could use is removable stitch markers. Now these are like the pin stitch markers. They easily come off, and I showed a video on how to use removable stitch markers for when you're knitting or crocheting in the round, and I'll link that video down below. These come in handy if you're working with a pattern that doesn't require a seam on it. And they work really well because sometimes you need to, sorry, I'm having a brain fade. Sometimes you need to work a pattern in the round that can't have a seam, and sometimes when you knit, you can't create a seam. But it's really easy to create a seam, to make a pattern without a seam with these kind of things, because then you can just remove them and put them back in the first stitch of your round and stuff. And these come in handy for me when I make my Edelweiss beanie, because I just hook this onto the first stitch in the round, so then I don't get lost of where I'm at in the pattern. And I always remember what stitch is my first one. Another good thing you would need is some measuring tape. This I got as a gift years ago. I use this quite a lot for when I'm measuring a lot of my pieces, like my snoods. My beanies I don't really measure unless I really need to measure them. And this comes in handy for like if I need to make a hat a certain length, or my project, whatever I'm working on a certain length, then I don't have to estimate and stuff like that. And a good tip is quick tip I have is, if you are knitting a project, work about 10 rows and then measure after every 10 rows to see how far you get. So then you don't, because if you measure after every row, your project's going to take 10 times longer. Another good thing that is great is a row counter. This is the one I got from my aunt and uncle for Christmas, and it's called Clover, and I use this all the time when I'm knitting, and it helps me keep track of my rows better. And if you don't have one of these, you can also just use a piece of paper and a pen, but this works better because it saves a lot of trees. And another good tip is, if you are knitting up to more than 99 rows, the row counters only go up to 99, just so you guys know. But you could also keep an extra piece of paper and write down which 100 row you're on. Like for instance, whenever I use this and I get up to 100, I always write 100 down so that I don't get lost and have to count all the way back. These come in handy so you don't have to count your rows so much when you're knitting. And you can get, and I'm pretty sure these also are fairly cheap at like Joann's, Michael's, and Hobby Lobby, and you can get them for a good price. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and they're great for knitting or crocheting. Another good thing is basic regular stitch markers. These I got off Amazon. I got these because I needed some better stitch markers because my other stitch markers were like rubber and they were breaking and stuff. So I needed a new set of stitch markers. And these are great for me because they're plastic and they come in handy for helping me keep track of my rows. And they come in all different pretty colors, and I really like that about these, and I love these stitch markers because they're great for just knitting in the round and they don't break like the other ones do. Another good supplies is what all handy knitters probably should use is the Boye Needle Master Kit, and I do have a review on it, and I'll link it down below if you didn't see it. This is the Boye Needle Master Kit. I found this online, and it was only about $30 off Amazon, and they don't sell it. I tried looking for it in the stores, but they don't, sorry, my camera's out of focus, but they don't sell it in stores. So I was able to get it online, and it was only 30 bucks, around 30 bucks, and it was pretty cheap. And this comes in handy for when you have to change needle size in the round, because for those if you guys don't know me, I hate changing my needle sizes in the round because I have to pull out, because this was before I got interchangeable needles. I would having to be pulling out my other pair of circular needles and then having to take off the other one and having to switch with the new pair of circular needles, and it was such a struggle because the needles would wobble around every time I was knitting with them, and it made it so hard for me to knit. So I bought this so I wouldn't have to change, wouldn't have such a struggle changing my needle size. And these are so easy because, as you can see, they have detachable cords, and then you can just unscrew the needles and then put a different size on when you need to change a needle size. This is great. So all knitters, I suggest use this kit. You can get it online. It's only around $30. I got mine off Amazon for $30. Maybe they raised the price, I'm not sure, but I got mine for around $30, which is fairly cheap. Another good supplies you could use is some bulky yarn if you're a beginner. This is Lionbrand Color Made Easy. I think this is around $6 on Amazon. I don't remember the price, but it's a really good yarn. And the color I have right now is pomegranate. This is such a beautiful color. I use this to make a hat and stuff. And this is really great for beginners because it's also nice and thick and you can see what you're doing and stuff. And it's such a wonderful yarn to work with, and I love this stuff. And I saw Ashley from Sewrella use this type of yarn, and it is such a great yarn, and she did a whole tutorial on crochet and knitting for it, and I'll link her videos down below if you haven't seen them. You should definitely check them out because she is sponsoring the Lionbrand Color Made Easy. And if you have not tried out Lionbrand Colors Made Easy, I suggest you check it out. I'll link my review down below if you haven't seen it. This is such a great yarn to use for if you're a beginner. Okay, so those are my best supplies you could use for knitting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day of the week for all, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye-bye.